There is this beautiful lesson that God often tries to teach us through life and through examples of life, and one that is found repeatedly in different examples. One example where it is evident is the example that is shared in the Quran of Ashab al-Kahf, the people of the cave, who were a group of few men, either 5 or 6 or 7, and they also had a companion with them, which was their dog. They were a group that were rejected by their community. They were socially marginalized and completely ostracized from society. And it wasn't just the lack of acceptance or rejection on the part of the communities that they were from, but there was an actual onslaught against them. There was a campaign made against them. And this is typically the currency of toxic social environments and the social infrastructure that allows for groups of people to be manipulative and to push a certain agenda forward that they have, and that is done for whether they're doing it for power, whether it's done for status or wealth or position. In any case, this group of individuals were isolated, they were completely isolated, and they were forced into leaving their communities, and they decided to find sanctuary in a cave where they felt they perhaps would be safe. In fact, they were protected by God and from any further harm. And that's often what God does. He observes the injustices and oppressive ways of certain communities and then selects individuals from those communities whom he wishes to favor because they have shown that they are sincere and they sincerely wish to live righteously and devote themselves to him. So God then, himself often orchestrates this isolation where he separates certain individuals from others, and he makes the community or those people reject them, because if they accept them, then there is a possibility that they would become like them. So the people of the cave devoted themselves to God, and they were removed from that. And Allah does this. He highlights how they were oppressed and unfairly treated, and how injustice was done onto them, and yet they kept their hearts tied to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so sometimes God allows or even invites things in our lives to happen in a way that causes us to become separated from society. We see this in the example of the people of the cave. We see this in the example of Prophet Yusuf, who was separated from his family, and then again when he was thrown into the prison dungeons. We see this with the example of Noah and of Jesus. We see this with the example of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and his successors. And in fact, we see this with most prophets and messengers. And sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He isolates us from others so that we can begin to find our soul's purpose. And because He doesn't want us to turn out like them, aimless and purposeless oppressors. He doesn't want us to identify with their injustices and with their evils. Yes, in the midst of it, in the heat of it, we may seem like we've lost friendships, we may seem like we have lost relationships, but finding our path, finding our passion, finding our purpose, finding ourselves, and finding God in life is worth more, because where your soul is, there you will find your greatest treasure. And once you have that, no one can take that away from you.